Just looking at the box score, was it the turnovers the biggest thing that?
Well, I mean, really for both teams, I mean, that was not what you'd say, an aesthetically pleasing NBA game to watch, right? I mean, it was 37 turnovers. It was pretty sloppy on both ends. I mean, that was 8 and 13 nights for us, and we looked like it. That's the first time with this group. Actually, all year, we haven't had many games where we didn't play with the right amount of energy, but obviously we didn't tonight.
Is that more just physically not having the right energy?
I think so, yeah. I mean, like, look, we're in a stretch here. We go 14 out of 18 on the road, in, out, in, out. And we haven't had 2 days off for a while. Tomorrow will be the first time, and we've also had 2 sets of back-to-backs in like the last week and a half. So, I mean, it definitely played a part in it. I thought to start the second half, we tried to get our energy going, but, we just couldn't get there.
Coach, you were shorthanded a little bit this game. Can you talk about Mijik and Bertans, having...
Both of them, played really good. Thought Trey played well. It's hard to, when you have that many turnovers, it's hard to put a good game together, for 48 minutes. I mean, they scored 23 points off our 18 turnovers. And I think even like our defensive numbers will be pretty good, because even though they shot 54, it's misleading because they scored so much off our turnovers. Our half-court defense wasn't bad.
You said after the second Milwaukee game last week, you weren't happy with your shot selection as a team. A few games go by, here we are at the third since then. Has that gotten better?
Well, I'll be honest, and the other factor now is that was with Cody and Seth. So, I mean, now we have a lot less offensive kind of shot creation, shot making in the group. So, I mean, look, there's going to be some nights here that if we're not really, really on it, we're not going to score a ton of points. That's where we got to be low turnover. We got to be smart. We got to be super purposeful, and our defense is going to have to continue to be good.
After the deadline, you got a lot of new additions. Still not a lot of size. I know it's not necessarily a new thing post-deadline, but they had a bunch of dunks, especially in the second half.
Yeah, we're tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, by NBA standards, and it's not just at the 4 and the 5. I mean, we're tiny everywhere, but we also have strengths that way. So like for instance, playing Grant at the 5. Actually, that's our best offensive and defensive group. Because he gives us so much more versatility. And again, in the big picture, so much is evaluation, but to truly evaluate, which our guys are doing, we have to play to win, which, we did. We lacked the energy tonight. But like those things you're talking about, it's just where we're at, I mean, we're going to be smaller here for the rest of the year. And so, we're going to have nights like we did against Philadelphia, right, where, like the biggest difference in the game was offensive rebounding points for them, But, it will give us a good chance to evaluate a lot of guys and see where we're at going into the summer, though.
Coach, can you talk about how you've seen opposing teams guarding Brandon Miller tonight, Jordan Franz,
yeah.
a couple of
They play bigger guys. They're double teaming. They're taking all his pick and rolls away. Even when we're doing screening action off the ball, they're more baselining it, send it to the rim, sending all the cutters towards the 5 men. So, he was good in the first half. But what I have to do, that part of that is me too. Like in the second half, we don't call as many play calls as we used to, like, when I was here before. But in the second half, I'm just going to do that. We'll slow it down and get the ball in his hands because he's too good. And you can't let teams just do that, So he would, I think in the first half tonight, I think he'd only taken like 4 or 5 shots, and we can't have that.
Steve Mabassa filling in for Cody tonight. What did you think about his contribution?
I thought he played well. I thought he was very much on the attack in his pick and rolls. He had a bunch of good finishes at the rim. And he's also, very good passer, creator. They collapse the paint so much that he's good at hitting the roll, and the way they, play, they're so big, that's not there a lot. So he didn't get as many of those, but I thought he played very well.